episode 28.
You're listening to the American Dad Podcast. Yeah, boy.
Oh, yeah. It's business time. Ding, 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 ding. What's going on, everybody? This is Andrew with the American Dad Podcast. Episode 28. 4 days now. This episode should be released on December 5th, 2013. Holding true to my word. Only need one more after this, and I will bet my quota. So anything more than that would be a bonus. If you're listening for the first time, my name is Andrew. I'm a over-opinionated dad who tends to offend people quickly, and he doesn't mean to do it, so I'm sorry. I've got a lot of opinions on things and all that kind of good stuff, so I do the best that I can to talk about topical things that are happening in the world and even in my own life as a dad, and things that I struggle with in life and marriage and you name it. The difficult part of this show is doing it solo because there's no back and forth banter. So really it makes me feel like I'm just talking at you instead of talking with you. So that can be difficult. But today we have a good show. Today I'm gonna kind of highlight some some blogs that were shared in a private forum that I'm or a Facebook group that I'm a part of. And the first one is going to be 5 signs you're overscheduling your kids. And let's see here if I could find the really cool. Now that I looked it up and everything. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. So 5 signs you're overscheduling your children. This was written by Christian Toto at Daddy Librium. That's at daddylibrium.com. And so basically in this article, he talks about how, his kid does more things in 1 week than he did in his whole senior year of high school. And really, I can kind of vouch for that. I mean, my kids have done, I'll put it this way. I did more than my parents as a kid. And my kids have done way more than I did as a kid, and who knows? I mean, maybe that trend will continue. I don't know if it's always a good thing, but he brings up some very good points about maybe overscheduling your kids, and he also makes sure to say this is just a partial list. So one of the big things that he said that you as a dad to realize that maybe you're fighting you're doing too much is you're fighting more with the wife. And basically saying, if you're taking your kids back and forth to place and there's just little or no time for each other, it's maybe a sign that you're overscheduling, with activities for your kid to where you can't even just, talk with the wife. The second one he says is yawn. Oh, you got anything? What else you got? Basically, he talks about how the kids might not appreciate. They come not to appreciate anything that's happening or where you're taking them, because it's sometimes a lot of things we do with our kids is a big to do. Maybe we take off time, or I think I mentioned in my previous podcast where like donuts with dad, where dads would come before work, so they're missing the early parts of work to be there, and it's something special. So that's another way you might think that. Maybe you're just doing too much. Weekend burnout, he mentions. He says, if you are, exhausted on Sunday, and he says maybe, you need to just, if everything's just a blurry, maybe you just need to chill out to where you can just enjoy the weekend. And if you're more excited than your children to do whatever you're doing, that might be another sign that it's time to chill out and, maybe start scheduling things that are less so, he says it way nicer than I'm saying it here. They can relish the experience and when they do something. And if your budget is taking a hit, basically says, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Sometimes a trip to the zoo is just as exciting to the kids as a trip to the park, and it doesn't cost a dime. He says, sometimes we try to compete with other parents and what they're doing, and you don't necessarily have to do that. Great insight. This is actually the first blog that I've ever read from Daddy Librium. Guys know that I'm not a big blog reader, but since I'm going to start highlighting in the future some of these dads and blogs out there, I'm going to be kind of forced to read these other blogs. And actually, I enjoyed it. This guy had some great insight. He didn't write like an essay. He really touched on the bases really well. Dads, if you're interested in following Daddy Librium, you can go to daddylibrium.com, and he's got a newsletter and a nicely laid out website, not too cluttery, and I think he'll enjoy it. I mean, I enjoyed this one. I don't know. I haven't read anything else. His tagline is tips on balancing fatherhood, marriage, and leisure time. So like I said, that's the only one I read of his. I enjoyed reading it. Just give him a shout out. All right, so we did that one. Tommy Riles, head of mastermind of the lifeofdad.com network there for bloggers, dad bloggers, that is. It's a social network for dads. He wrote a post on his that says 5 ways I wish I was more like my 2-year-old. And it's just a cute little, the bullet points on how he compares himself to his son. In this first one, he says, my son sleeps 12 hours each night. He wishes he could do that as well. Playtime. He says his dad or his son just has fun no matter what he's doing, and he doesn't get distracted. He wishes he could be more like that. Unconditional love. His son's always giving unconditional love. He wishes he could do that. He doesn't hide his emotions. If he wants to cry, if he wants to laugh, he does it. He doesn't hide them from public. Fearless. He tells a cute little story, like I think he exaggerates the story, but his son will be climbing a ladder with a knife in his hand. He's just kind of just doing his own thing, and he wishes he could be more fearless like that as well. That was it. I guess his son just turned 2. So I thought that was a cute little thing. Now Tommy Riles has done a lot for dad bloggers and networking, and he does a lot of good things. Just in general, I've seen some videos where he's done some cool things for like teenage groups and stuff like that. So check out Life of Dad. I mean, at the very least, just cruise through it. It's going to be at lifeofdad.com. Look at the videos, the podcasts, the blogs. The podcasts and blogs are probably one of the 2 good ones to check out. He's got a charity thing. I haven't checked out his videos as I'm looking at them. I thought that was part of the podcast. I don't know why I thought that. But podcasts in general, if you're looking for another dad podcast to listen to, I don't know why you would. But there's that. And then, of course, there's blogs. I'm just highlighting a few today. So well done, Life of Dad. I enjoyed reading that. Nice, quick, and sweet. Very cute to write about. Okay, so I did that one. Another one I came across was another blogger actually highlighted it. He didn't write much, but he was just like, hey, check this out. It's 100 most popular baby names in 2013, which is actually can be found at babycenter.com. And it goes over some of these here, and some of them kind of crack me up a little bit because out of the top 10 names, which I'll go over, 2 of those names are names of my nieces, and out of the top 10 names for boys, 2 of the names are actually from my nephews. I thought that was pretty crazy. My son cracked barely and was almost in the top 30, and my daughter's name didn't even make the list, which I was kind of like, so that's why I can't find her name on any keychains, because apparently it's not popular enough. So I'm just going to go over the top 10 names real quick of the girls. The first one is number 1, Sophia. Number 2 is Emma. Number 3 is Olivia. Number 4 is Isabella. Number 5 is Mia. Number 6 is Ava. Number 7 is Lily. Number 8 is Zoe. Number 9 is Emily. And number 10, Chloe. Congratulations for making the top 10 list in 2013. Now from the bottom to the top, number 10 for the boys, Jack. That's actually kind of surprising. It seems like a very plain name, even though I like it. It just seems like it's not very exotic. We've gotten very exotic with our names, probably over the last 10 years. Jacob, number 9. Ethan, number 8. Number 7 is Jaden. Number 6 is Mason. Number 5 is Noah. What a great name. Actually, I think I met my first Noah during wrestling practice. There's a kid that wrestles my son named Noah. Number 4 is Lucas. Number 3 is Liam, like Liam Neeson. Number 2 is Aiden. It's a very popular name. I hear that name a lot. And number 1 is Jackson. I don't hear that name a lot, but I do like it. So, that is your top 10 names of the year. Again, that's babycenter.com. Never been there before. But it looks like it's got a lot of information for like getting pregnant, pregnancies, babies, toddlers, preschools, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm sure they have plenty of articles for you. Let's see here. And what else we got? We got, let's see. It's the Dad on the Run blog at Blogspot. I was actually switching between websites. I didn't know if I wanted to end with this or I didn't want to do it next. I actually wanted to end with this because this is from my favorite blogger, from Dad on the Run. He recently shared an old art. It just amazes me how much this guy's written. He shared an old article from, let's see when this was written here. December 13th, 2010, so almost 3 years ago. But I read the whole thing and I just chuckled, and then I had to email him right away. I'm like, dude, that just, I'm so what you wrote about. And so anyway, so I'll kind of, he wrote a lot. He wrote a lot. So he wrote the title of it is called I Don't Recall Asking for Your Opinion, which, of course, that's all I do on here is give opinions and speak my mind and do my best to do that at least. And it made me chuckle because not only do I do that, me personally, give my opinion a lot. Not only do I do that, of course, with the podcast, but I do that in real life, and I think it gets me in trouble. It gets me in trouble a lot. I might not see the trouble at the moment, but, sometimes I'm just defending people around me and they just don't say anything. So that's why it resonated with me. But he goes on, and I'm just going to kind of paraphrase things here. And I definitely suggest you go read it because he references the word turd. And I'll try. So he calls it a turd. It's called thoughtless, unsolicited, or redundant declaration. He says basically it's people who help or try to help or basically just give their advice or help when it's not needed. And so he tells some stories where he's walking his daughter in a stroller and he's got a blanket over the top of the stroller. And we've all done this, kind of keep it dark in there. It's not over the baby's face or the child's face. It's just cloaked over the hood of the little cover of the stroller and drapes down and keeps it dark and maybe insulates a little bit of noise. And some lady walks up to him and says, "Do you have a baby in there?" And he says, "Yes, I do." He's like, "Can that baby breathe?" And he gets all, kind of, well, do all babies need air? Of course it could breathe. And he basically said something like, "I'm going to hurry. I got to go." And so, again, this is a stay-at-home dad fending off all these mothers and motherly advice that's going to be given to him while he's out and about. And then there was another story where I think his daughter was maybe acting up, and the mother's like, "Hey, I've been around a while here. If you give him this little, lollipop here or whatever, it'll keep him quiet." But little does, he goes on to explain, like, little did you know that all this drama's happened before leading up to this point. And he's like, you just don't know. You don't know the whole story behind, why, why something's happening, why I'm correcting my child. You don't know, why I'm correcting them, what led up to it. And I sympathize with them a great deal because I am that turd. I throw turds. That unsolicited advice, I throw it a lot, and sometimes it's because I'll be in a conversation with somebody, and they'll be telling me a story, or they're having a struggle with something, or having a problem, and I have this enormous urge to either tell them something that I've been through, something that's helped me, or just just some general advice like, hey, maybe you should, whatever, try this. And what I've come to find out, even though I understand this, like sometimes people are just venting, they don't want to hear what I have to say. It's just like, I don't know what else to do. Otherwise, either I'm just going to sit there quietly. I guess I could just say, go, yeah, oh wow, yeah, that's nice. I mean, what do you say? I feel this urge in my soul to respond, and I mean, if I truly don't know the answer, then I'll just say, man, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's what I'll say. But if I have some inkling of some advice for them that could possibly help them, I give it. And more times than not, it's probably like, oh yeah, thanks, and not in a good way kind of thanks. But I like I said, I just can't help it. So for all the people that I've thrown turds at, I'm sorry. It's unintentional, but I think a great way for me to throw turds and people be willing to catch them is this podcast. So thank you for catching my unsolicited advice. If you want to hear it, I mean, it's here. If you want to hear the stories, I'm giving them, I'm sharing them. But it's funny. I'm on this. This is number 4. This is number 4 podcast, and I'm kind of reflecting on these topics that I've shared, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I talk about divorce, and I talk strongly about it, or my feelings on it, and I can just imagine that all the people that I know in my circles, my personal friends on Facebook, the people I went to high school with, that are maybe looking at that, going, "Gosh, and they're looking at it going, that's not why I got a divorce, and I got a divorce for a different reason, and my life has worked out wonderful after that." It's like I can't incorporate every comment or every answer, or even be that thoughtful in a 30-minute podcast, as thoughtful as I'd want to be about a sensitive topic like that. But just so everybody knows, anything that I say on here is not, unless I tell you it's meant to offend you, it's not meant to offend anybody. It's not meant to be taken personally. But I mean, it's my personality on here, and I'm sharing it, and I'm sharing my thoughts, and that's just kind of what happens. It just typically offends. And so I can't take it back. The podcast has been posted. The video is up and running. And I don't think I would take it back, because this is me. So, I mean, you guys, if you've listened to me from the beginning to now, you're getting a good idea of what you're getting. It's not much of a surprise. So, yeah, I do want to thank you guys all for listening. This is a shorter one. I thought these topics would run a little bit longer. But definitely check them out. So you got dad-on-the-run.blogspot.com. I'm going to convince Dad on the Run to, I need him to get a different URL for his website so I can say it easier. But if you're watching the video, I'll have something posted to my side here, and you'll see a picture with his, his URL, so you can find him. He is a very thoughtful and very good writer. And, more importantly, his Facebook page is the one to really check out, because he's always sharing stuff on there. He's very integrated, where, he talks with his audience a lot. He communicates with them a lot. So it's not like you're going to see something like once a day. You might see something 5 times a day. So, yeah, check him out. And of course, you guys can find me at AmericanDadPodcast.com. You got the overprotectiveparents.net. That's where I do my writing. And I've just pretty much saved the AmericanDadPodcast.com website for just basically the video posts and the once in a while article. So if you guys are, interested in reading books on, or having them read to you rather, Audible sells a bajillion books. I've read a couple. Of course, I don't have my phone on me. About parenting and stuff on there. Actually, I've had them read to me, a couple of them about parenting. Pretty reasonable price for what you get. If you do road trips, if you commute like 30 minutes, an hour a day, or even less, if you just like sitting there and listening to someone read to you, this is the thing for you. So if you guys want the free book, you download it to your smartphone. You just listen to it from there. I connect it to my car and I listen to it through the speakers. You can go to audibletrial.com/American Dad Podcast. We thank them for sponsoring their show. So, all right, guys, thank you again for listening. Now I have the big task of finding out what day number 5 is going to be about. Maybe I'll find some more interesting blogs. Maybe it'll be some news. Maybe it'll be a topic. Who knows? We'll figure it out. If you guys have any ideas, Facebook me, and I will take your idea into consideration. I appreciate it. So, without further ado, I want everybody to have a wonderful day. And I'll turn this up a little bit. Have a funky day. Shake your hips a little. Bob your head when you're at work. And just have a good time. So, I'll catch you guys later. Enjoy your day. Hey, thanks again for watching the video. I would highly recommend going down there and clicking that subscribe button. There's a ton of videos always coming out. Sometimes they're podcast videos, sometimes they're review videos, sometimes they're tip videos, you name it. I'm making videos. So if you would, just go ahead and click that thing, click that button. Did you click it yet? No? Is your mouse broken? Are you using one of those touch pads? Listen, I don't have all day, but I can sit here a little bit longer if you want. All right then. Awkward. Thanks for watching.